What is up, guys? Welcome back to the SuperCoach Experience podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Savage, the coach of the Savage Meanies. We are back for the 5/8 podcast. The halfback podcast really changed my side last week, and it changed somebody so much that they wanted to return. We're joined by Big Les, the coach of Big Les's Bears. What's going on?
Well, you guys obviously liked me enough to have me back, so keen to get stuck into some 5/8 chat. It's going to be exciting. I think I've come in the best sort of time, the halves.
You have. Also, I want to go back to that. You're contractually obliged to be here. So
Yeah,
I'm kidding. And we're also joined by the 2021 champion, Tim Moody. 2021 was a while ago now.
I know it's a while ago, and the reason I know that is because when I go back over the years and look at their stats, I'm starting to leave 2021 out of it because it's that far back. So, yeah, that sucks.
Well, you had a better year than I did last year. So
you had a better year than Grant did too last year. I just want to point that out too, because we all sort of going close, pretty neck and neck by the end of it, and he thought he had me, but the cream rises to the top. So
shout out to Grant. He's back next week for the Second Row Forward podcast for the Guns. So whether Tim's committed to coming next week or not is yet to be determined. I don't know. Them two in the same room. I don't know if that's going to be legal. But anyway, subscribe if you are on the YouTube watching, because that really helps us out. And if you are watching and you can't watch the rest of it, please head over to the Spotify or the Apples and subscribe there. That helps us out a lot. I think we're like 74th on the charts for sport at the moment. So this is our origin this period. So 5/8 podcast. As I said, you obviously moved from last week, Les. Timmy, has your side changed at all since last week?
No, I was just telling Les, I just picked a little template side to start the year, see how balance looked financially, where I could fit things and how many whatevers I need here and there, but just letting it go, just putting the names in the green book, letting everything sort of take its course over the preseason. And once TLT drops and we've got a lot more information, seems to be a few players injured here and there coming up week in, week out. We'll see what happens. So yeah, I'm really excited to try and start well this year, because slow start last 4 years, I think. Yeah,
I think the way my side is structuring at the moment, I've stuck to what we said last week, and I've gone the double gun halfback, one in flex. So I've got rid of Kalen Ponga, and I think we got news from Talking Para on the weekend that Ponga's still in the moon boot, apparently. And they're pretty much like, he's not fully injured, but they're worried he's going to break his foot again. They think that's going to happen. The same injury as someone who broke their foot. I forget who it was. Maybe it was Ponga.
The Liz Frank?
Yeah, the Liz Frank. So he's touch and go for round one. So I think just that's enough doubt to put in my mind to go ahead with the Nico. And there's been news that Nico's absolutely killing preseason. See his biceps? He was killing it. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm excited to see how that goes. But firstly, SportsShed TV charity match, February 22nd. Me and Les are in it. We're coming up against the Whisperer and the Spy. So that's going to be good. Les, I think now that you're a SuperCoach podcaster, me and you, we've got to target either of them. So we're going to put hits on them.
Yeah.
Bash Brothers, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Except you're out in the centres.
Yeah, well, I can mark the Spy, and I'll give you a hit on the Spy, and I'll
he's
try.
Now he's starting to talk it up. I was saying I was going to have to message Spy and just make up and say stuff, but now you're actually saying stuff. You're talking a big game. You're saying you're going to put some hits on.
No, it's funny. Right. I was messaging the Whisperer today, and it was a very nice chat. We had some wholesome conversations together. I'm sure he'll be okay that I call him out and say, I'm going to try and hit you, Whisperer. And if you try and hit me, please do it. I want over the top of you, mate.
Well, I think the more runs he has on Strava and the more weight he can lose, the easier of a target he's going to be, I guess, in the middle as well. So are you going to be hype man on the sidelines again this year?
I'll be yelling out some, banging on the fence, doing my bit. What's a strata?
Strava, it's like a running
up.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically like gloating for runners.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
Yep. Yeah, it's like Facebook for runners. Patreon, head over to patreon.com/SC Experience. We've got an exclusive episode up there at the moment. It was a Q&A, so all the Q&As are going to be behind closed doors in the Patreon this year up until round one. The Q&As will be on the public platform, but we will have a private podcast every week in there as well. So head over to that. And league code 264004 for our unlimited league code. There's one prize up at the moment, which is 12 months free Patreon, and then all the other prizes will be sorted after that. So 264004, let's get into it. Fletcher Sharp tops the list, $730K, without the blowout tons. So I'm gone straight to my notes. So without his blowout tons, which were against bottom 4 sides, I've calculated his average, and it's 48.
Yeah, that's not too bad. And he's going to... You got to get those
blowout tons. Yeah. He's going to have blowout tons. So 4 teams minus Manly, his average is 48. That's all I got on him. I really like Fletcher Sharp as a player, and I think he took a lot of ball off Ponga last year because he was that backing up guy. But I think there's just a lot not to like about him because we don't know where he's going to play. There's every chance he plays fullback round 1. If Ponga is out, then what's going to happen there? Like, he could be a great pod for the first 2-3 rounds if Ponga is actually injured for 2 or 3 weeks, which is a great ball to the wall move, but I don't like it until we know what position he's actually playing.
Yeah, I'm a similar sort of boat to Dylan Brown, to be fair. We were sort of talking about it last week. If he gets dual position, then he's way more attractive. I feel like Fletcher Sharp's in a similar boat, but more so from the fact that if he does start the year at fullback, I might think about it, but I'm not entirely sold. I think if he was $200K cheaper and he was a similar sort of price to like a Keanu Kinney, I'd consider it as a backup fullback option to start the year, but probably not in the halves.
He is expensive. He's exciting, though. He's that little bit of upside that you might... Everyone's got to gamble a little bit somewhere in their side with that little bit of upside, that unknown killer punch, and he's got that. I don't know whether I'd want to start with spending that much there. 6 games at fullback, average 70. 6 games on the wing, average 75.5. And at 5'8", 12 games, 72.5. So it's pretty...
consistent, yeah.
Yeah, wherever he's sort of playing for the most part. Seems to like to score tries more so on the wing than at fullback, which I guess that's like any back, just how it plays out. He started hot last year, 3 games, average 73, but that's kind of where he's priced at. That included an 83, an 82 and a 54. So I think you really are paying for what you get.
It's very consistent last year. I'm looking through all the numbers. Very, very... Ooh.
That's Logan Geyer in the
that's
chat
huge.
there, mate.
Did you see what he said?
Yeah, we'll get to that later. It's next week's chat.
It's about Nathan Cleary.
Oh, really? I thought it was about second rowers. Okay.
No, just listening to the halfback pod, everybody's sleeping on Nathan. Inside info. He's my first picked.
Ooh.
Thanks for the inside info.
He must be reading some extra books in the off season or something.
Did you see the AFL kick he kicked from the sideline?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. I wanted to go down the park and do it myself.
For Fletcher Sharp, he averaged a point per minute. Is that like... That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Well, the average is average, 80. Oh,
yeah, it's about 80.
Around that.
Yeah, it was 74.7 last year. But that's like more... He was a lot more consistent than what we're thinking he's going to be positionally wise to this year.
5'8" all last year.
His base is high, which I want to point out. His price is high too. So, but his base is 36, which is Munster territory.
Yeah, it's very Munster.
Rest of the 5'8s we're going to talk about are all sort of in the 26 sort of.
Yeah, right.
About 10 points less in base. So,
I feel like we're all leaning towards no, not in. I mean, I feel like he's worthy of the Green Book for sure, but like to start with. Is there...
If he was playing like fullback and it was for like 6 weeks, I'd probably do it.
I think so too, but is it viable that if you get 3 weeks of him at fullback, is it viable to go with him and just wait and see who the standout 5'8" at value might be? Because there might be one that jumps out of the ground like who knows, maybe Luke Brooks goes 100, or like a Braden Trindle at 400K goes 100, or Ezra Mam kills it. Like, is it worth?
I'm way more comfortable going Munster with at 100K less. Than
50K less than Sharp.
Is it only 50?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
680 versus 730.
Still, I'm way more comfortable going Munster, to be fair.
There's more upside. Vegas, fullback round 1 potentially.
Cows, Manly and the Wars first 3 games, they're kind of like the first 2 he could kind of go all right. But I always feel like the first 2, you kind of want softer games in round 3 and 4.
Yeah, I agree. So, yeah, leaving him out?
Yeah.
I'm going to chuck him in the Green Book just pending on what the situation is with the start of the season. Like, I'd kind of want his role to be locked down. I wouldn't want him to be moving around too much and having to be like, oh, okay, now he's halfback, now he's 5'8", now he's on the wing. You know what I mean? I'd kind of want...
And think about it. If Ponga's not ready for round 1, they've got 2 weeks in between that game and the next game.
Well, I think the upside of him being so expensive is similar to the chat around going from one of Cleary or Hines to Moses. You can go from one of Sharp to Munster, whoever you want to go to there. So
yeah, I'm more thinking because there aren't any standout 5'8s. Maybe one gets the goal kicking, or a Tom Dearden gets 5'8 dual potentially, or a Dylan Brown absolutely comes out of the ground killing it. I know he doesn't have the 5'8 dual at the moment, but like I feel like none of these 5'8s are super convincing.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just kind of a stopgap to allow you to make that decision. And you've got the high upside and it helps you to start strong. But that being said, there's every chance he plays fullback round 1, round 2, Ponga's back.
The thing about 5'8 is it's usually over the last few years, or couple of years at least, been like a bit of a boring position. It's hard to sort of maximise points. It always feels like it's underwhelming. That's your 5'8 that's usually letting you down. In saying that, though, so maybe you don't want to spend a lot there, but in saying that, if one of them does sort of shoot out the blocks and is quite a bit above the pack, that could be a way to get ahead too. So just about trying to pick that guy.
Yep. Number 2, Cameron Munster. So he's in the green book. You right?
Yeah, I'll chuck him in there. Yep.
All right. Probably not an MVP. In my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
We'll turn that off right now. Cameron Munster, 682,200, averaged 69.8 with only 2 tons the year just gone, averaged 54 without Pappy. So that was the key stat I was looking for. There wasn't enough sample size without Pappy, so I'm not really going to take that into consideration. I think it was 2 games that he played without Pappy. 35 in base, which is good. 49 in base and power, which is pretty much the best in the game.
I think he's the safest out of all of them, isn't he? I think out of every single guy we've got down here, he's probably the safest pick to start. And then you've got wiggle room to move to someone who's a little bit cheaper, and we'll get to the other guys in a second. But he's definitely, I guess, the set and forget sort of pick if you're, coming into SuperCoach, whether you're just starting out or, whether you've been as a veteran and you're just looking for a safe pick, set and forget. I think Munster's that guy.
So he started with a hot score last year, 99 points against Parramatta. He has Parramatta round 1 this year too. He averaged 72 in the first 3 rounds, and after 6 rounds it was 71. So he's just a little tick above his price point, not a great deal. I feel confident he'd go well. He's got Para, Dragons, Broncos, Cows. 3 of that first 4 is really nice.
Even the Broncos matchup, Melbourne like playing the Broncos. It's a bit of a grudge match. He stands up for these kind of games. Well, less so now than in the past, but he still stands up for these games. It feels like it's a nice matchup.
Are you worried at all about the injuries?
Not with Munster anymore.
Not really?
I am worried about how he looks fitness-wise at the moment. I feel like you can tell when Munster's switched on and he wants to have a big year, and I feel like he hasn't quite hit that yet in this preseason.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I watched the 167 podcast that he was on. He looked okay. Looked pretty trim, to be fair.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see, obviously. It is on the back of my mind, though.
Yeah.
Because that groin was just non-stop last year.
He had no scores below 40, which I love. He had 21 games last year, no scores below 40. I've got a little column thing of like shit scores and big ones. So he had none below 40, so no shit ones. Big ones, 4-ish for the season. It's not outlandish. He had 99, a 138, a 101 and a 92. He doesn't feel like he goes big enough that you're kind of like you're happy enough with those big ones, but he's always sort of 60s, 50s. But there was a lot of what felt underwhelming. But when you say he's got nothing under 40, you just expect more, I think, sometimes.
Yeah, and base and power of average of 49 throughout the year, like that's probably what you're going to get. Minimal attacking stats, but Pappy took a lot last year, so maybe that picks up this year because he's...
I like that. I like that concept of...
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he's got to be that flair now. And I know that they're going to have like Farlogo potentially, who's got, great pizzazz and finishing touches, but he's not that whole package, you know what I mean? And the whole lead up. So I think, I can see him having that little extra bit of...
I'm like, we actually spoke about it last week. I'm less keen on him if Lomax goes. Because I feel like if Lomax goes to that... I look at if without Lomax in that side now, assuming Lomax is going to play right centre, the left side's their best attacking edge. They've got Munster, they've got maybe Blore, unless Blore moves over to the other side, Howarth, and then Xavier Coates.
I think Melbourne are a side that will not put a player in who's been pre-season for 2 weeks. I think that's...
So you think Lomax wouldn't go in straight away?
I don't think he's going to be there round one. I think that's going to be a slow burn. And if he does, they're not going to have shape build around Lomax.
Well, that helps, I guess, Munster.
Yeah. So that's what I like for Munster. But I do agree that does take away from Munster. But at the same time, I still think no Pappy. No Pappy, I like it. Is he in your book? I feel like he's the type of player that it can't go wrong. And I feel in such a position that is so grim, you can lock him in.
Well, the good thing about it not going wrong too, I feel like at some stage we're all just like, oh, let's get Cam Munster. Yeah. So you've got him. You know what I mean? If the other one doesn't work out, you're probably going to end up going to him. I feel like if you're going to spend that sort of money, I'd probably leaning a lot more towards him than Fletcher Sharp, although Fletcher Sharp excites me more.
I think because it is a position that is grim and he's not a slam dunk, I've gone elsewhere at my 5'8" role, and I like that I've saved 180k in doing that.
Interesting.
We've already talked about him. I've got Sandon Smith on my side, he's in my side. He's goal kicking. Yep. So I like him. Cowboys round one, Vegas. In the green book, AJ Brimson, 649,300. I didn't expect to like him, but I looked at his stats. He was very good last year. The thing that does worry me, he averaged 48 in his first 9 rounds last year, and then he averaged 76 for the rest of the year. I feel like he's the type of player that definitely warms into a year, and the back end of the year is his hot point. I tried to look back the last couple of years. Injury has plagued him in and out the last couple of years. So my vibe is AJ Brimson is probably not an early season purchase, but maybe a back end. What are your thoughts?
I don't mind the start of the season, the draw for them. They got Sharks in the first game just to get that out, get that out of the way. Tough. Whoever you play in the first game is usually pretty tough anyway. But then you go Finns, Cows, Dragons. Once they've got the monkey off their back in that first round, I think that's pretty soft. Broncos and then, which is tougher than Para. So it's a pretty nice little block of 6 weeks there. 4 of them really easy. He, as you said, he started really slow. Only 42 points in the first 3 games. You'd be really underwhelmed if you put that out. I believe they were 80-minute games too, so I don't think there was anything that affected him there.
Yeah. I was going to take them out to try and build a case for him.
Don't know what that's about. Oh, that's ECE. Okay.
Is there anything on specifically games at 6?
I've got it here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got, over a career, like fullback, 76 games, averages 61. Centre, 8 games, averages 60. And then when he's in the halves, which would be 5'8", 54 average. It was 43 games there, so drops quite a fair bit off there.
I really hate it.
I don't think for the start of the year. I think he's way too much. If he was 500k, I could entertain it.
Yeah. I had him last year and he was a bit of a headache, and a lot of the time I didn't even really want to have to play him at times. But then when I didn't think he was going to go good towards the back end of the year, he just pulled a few big ones out, scored a couple of late tries.
But that's what I mean. He scars you so early on that towards the back end of the year we weren't confident playing him, but he was killing it every week. Like I looked at his scores, averaging 76 after that, and like similar to Jaden Campbell, where he just produced against good sides as well.
He probably plays centre or fullback this year, right? Like
centre or 5'8".
Centre or 5'8", yeah, with Kinney there.
Yeah, we've had that argument. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but the whole thing that we were saying last week when we were talking about the Titans, if he doesn't get overly involved, like he's not going to be kicking on last. You're only really going to see AJ when he's taking down left side shifts, and if he doesn't break the line, you're not going to get too much from him. Like a lot of the ball, most of the ball will go through Jaden Campbell.
Yeah, 100%.
So, I really hate it. I hate it.
I mean, if the Titans are putting on a lot of points early in the first 4 rounds against Finns, Cows and Dragons, he could be on the back end of a couple of tries and he could score big, but it does feel like a gamble. I'd rather not take the risk of those small ones that are in him too.
Well, let's just say that he is going to have more of a running role. Do you think it's more like a second sort of fullback type thing?
Yeah, I think Hane's a smart coach, and he will not make Brimson play a traditional 5'8" role, where I think he struggled last year.
Yeah.
I think he'll give the keys to like a I don't know. I honestly don't know how they're going to play.
I think if you're doing Jaden Campbell 7 with AJ at 6, I think Jaden Campbell, majority of the stuff's going to go through him. He's going to be first receiver. I think you'll see AJ roam a bit, both sides, play him like a second fullback. But then again, that sort of would hurt Kinney a little bit for me too. So, I'm not too sure. I think it's so much of a headache that I'm just not going to go near it.
Yep, out of the green book. You reckon?
Yeah, I'm not interested at that price. Too close to other guys that are better.
Number 4, Daly Cherry Evans, 618,700. He was in my first draft on my side, but the more and more I think about it, the more I don't like it. He's obviously coming to the club to be a mentor to Sam Walker, and he's going to have to play a backseat. Hugo Savala averaged 55.8 without Sam Walker in the side. As soon as Sam Walker came into the side, he averaged 48. So it's not that much difference, but I feel like DCE was in such a side that he was probably the second attacking spark in that side, maybe besides Ola Kawatu, but the second attacking back in that side, whereas the Roosters have strike all over the park. He's going to need to give the keys to Walker, Brimson, and he's going to play more of a game-managing Braden Trindle type role where you're just kicking, organising, and getting this side around the park. I think with players coming into new spines, you've got to wait and see.
Can I ask you a question? Let's say DCE's 450k. He's not. Let's just say he's 450k. Is he worth it at that price more than?
Yeah, but he's 620k.
Yeah, but I'm saying if he's a little bit less and you want to obviously build your side, you're looking for maybe a backup sort of option. You'd have maybe, for example, DCE, Cody Walker, or DCE, whatever you want to do, Munster, whatever. Like, is he worth it as more of a backup, or are you sort of?
I think at that price, you've got to pay him. It's got to be your starting 5'8", right? And if he's 450k, there's if he regresses because of the role, that's 550k value that he could potentially be at. I don't think it's enough, and I don't think you'd be happy with. There is value, but it's still not. You still got to wait and see.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think he's worth it at this price anyway. I think it sort of hurts the case even more.
Yeah, I'm not particularly keen.
Oh,
just see what happens.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. Ethan Strange. I think we all love this bloke, and he bleeds green. So I think we've got to put him straight in the green book before we even say anything. Right?
Yeah. Right.
Is he in the green book?
Let's talk about him. I think so. I've got a lot of notes on him. So yeah, he would be.
One game with Sanders last year for 72. 42 in base for the year, 42 in base power for the year, which is close to Munster, but had more attacking upside. Average 8 points a game in tackle busts, which was the stat I liked, because he went through games where he just tackle busted his dick off. What have you got on him?
Big breakout year for him last year. I mean, he scored 62.5 points on average compared to the year prior, where it was 49.5. So he's gone up like about 13 points in average there. Slow start for him last year. After the first 3 games, he averaged only 41. These were with scores of 89 to start against the Wars. Beautiful, cheering. But then a 20 against the Broncos. A 15 against Manly. These are in 80-minute games. Then the next 3 games of the first 6 rounds, he only, by the end of that 6 rounds, only averaged 45. 37 against the Cows, 15 against the Sharks, and a 96 against the Eels. So he's had 2 scores of 15, which are just, no thank you very much. So I've got here, he's not consistent, but actually consistently inconsistent. Yeah, he's
a bit like Sean Johnson back in the day, where it
was so like, it wasn't like a big run of games he'd ever go on, or like 3 or 4 small ones. It was so just you couldn't pick it, and yeah, some of the teams were not necessarily the teams you'd think it would happen against. So he's got some real shit ones. The 2 15s I just mentioned in the first 5 rounds, also in round 2, a 20 against the Broncos. He's got 5 other scores for the season under 40, so that's 5 scores under 40 and 3 scores under 30. It's 8 scores under 40. It's just yuck.
So that's 1/3 of the season. So
yeah. So when you're looking at under 40% for the season, under scores of 40 points for the season, it's 35% under and 65 over.
5'8" of the year last year as well. You think...
Some big ones, though. Sorry to cut you off. He's got some big ones. Round 6, 96 against the Eels. Round 14, 142 against South. Round 20, 95 against the Eels. 127 against Manly. And then he did have 114 against Panthers too in round 25. So there's some big ones.
The thing is, can you
I love him as a footy player, and I think he should be, fast-tracking his career, but I just think there's too many small ones. I don't know whether that was something, that was for certain reasons, if digging deeper, like what was going on with the side those weeks, what was their game plan, was he playing to something different, but yeah, I just reckon there's too many. I don't want any of those.
It was also his first year at 5'8" and playing left side as well.
He played 5'8" the year before, didn't he?
No, it was Jack Whiten.
But just looking at his smaller scores, like the bad ones that were under 40, they are spread. So one's in round 4, one's in round 10, one's in round 18, one's in round 27, one's round 22. So 2 in the early part, 1 in the middle, 2 in the back end. It's pretty well spread.
I think he's going to be the dominant half in this side.
Yeah, that was my next question. Sanders coming into the side. Does he get his hands on the ball more? Does he feel like he needs to touch it more? He has Manly, Warriors and the Bulldogs in the first 3. I can see him scoring well against any of these sides, but I can see him dropping a 15 as well. I think you've got to determine whether you think he's going to be that guy that can score well in the first 3, because I think the starting 5'8", it's either get a Munster that can be consistent for you the whole season, or you've got to go a guy like this who you think the first 3 or 4 rounds he can pop off for you.
Do you think it's maybe a closer to September purchase? Like you wait till the end of the year?
I think so too. My gut vibe says he's more of a later season purchase. As you back up, you play him on matchup, and he can absolutely tear teams apart. I think with the defensive systems and how they are early on in the season, that I just don't think he's got that upside early on. Like when did he drop his first ton of the year? He dropped like
round 6 he had a 96, but then round 14 first genuine ton was round 14, 142 against South.
There you go. So is he actually in the green book then?
I would like him. I'd have to have a real closer look and try jag him. I mean, I'm equally as scared of those small 15s, 20s. He had 3 of them in the first 5 rounds, a 20, a 15, a 15. Yeah, he was working himself out and stuff, but then he also had a 37 in round 4. So that's, I don't know, just that slow start also concerns me too. I don't know. Not for me probably, but he might be someone to really keep an eye on. And once he does go on a run, hopefully he can maintain that, but he hasn't seemed to have done that in the past.
Yeah, he does look, I think if he does look a bit more ball dominant, like if he gets his hands on the footy more.
Well, that's one thing. I reckon that's a real good thing to look at, but I just think of him as like, he was a centre come 5'8", so I think how much, he's not a traditional half.
He played right side in reserve grade too, so it was his first full year of playing left, and although it sounds like a shitty argument, like it makes a lot of a difference defensively as well, but more so attacking wise, like combinations and whatnot. It does change up a little bit.
Yeah, I actually thought right looked a lot less natural to him for some reason. I thought left looked really natural to him, but because he did so well on the left, maybe that's a plus side for him, because Ethan Sanders left foot kicker, so he most likely play left, I assume. If he does play right, there's every chance he sweeps on the left as well. So he's opened up that avenue. Yeah. We saw late in the season he did go to the right a little bit, but he definitely goes to the left if he is on the right.
I think he's a closer to September purchase.
Yeah, I agree.
But in saying that, he did make like 219K. So like he started the year last year at 484K and then ended at 704. So if he does sort of start to go well at the back end of the year, you're going to have to time it almost perfectly where he drops enough to get on him at a good price.
All right, let's move on. Cody Nikorima, I've got nothing on him. I'm not interested.
Yeah, I'm not really interested either.
I think there's a lot in their side, and he's not one of them that you want to...
He did have a lot of big scores, though. I mean, he had like 5 scores around the tons last year in 20 games at 94, 94, a 145, 100 and a 129.
I think we can all agree he overachieved massively last year. and he's overpriced.
And also, I think there is every chance if they want to build towards the future that he maybe ends the year at 14 rather than playing 6. I think that
I agree with that.
Donahue is every chance of taking
I think they're just keeping him there while he's in form, and the minute they see any chinks in the armour, then Donahue goes to 5'8". They've got George Williams coming next year, so I don't want to touch on it too long. But Ezra Mam, 585,000. I am interested in him. He's priced at a 59.9, but injury-affected games made that go down from a 67. He does rely on try assists, toughest draw, but seems to be the type of guy that isn't affected by Walsh's ball dominance. It seems like he actually thrives off that.
Yeah, they sort of link up a little bit too.
Yeah, so unlike Adam Reynolds, like if Adam Reynolds was in the side without Reece Walsh at the back, you kind of look at him and think, yeah, he's probably going to have more hands on the ball, more try assists, whereas Ezra Mam kind of feeds off Reece Walsh's behaviour, and I feel like after Reece Walsh has had a long off-season, the Australia Tour, he may take a while to warm into it, and that's what I'm predicting. I'm literally not looking at Reece Walsh for SuperCoach early on. I think Ezra Mam, there's every chance he comes into the season and starts hot.
I think so too, but from a Broncos perspective, correct me if I'm wrong, they won that first game against the Roosters, but then they sort of fell off a little bit.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. They did.
Yeah. So I don't know. Depends how the Broncos are going.
Well, the back end of the season, they really come hot. So maybe they try to do that again, warm into the season and then start to get hot.
Who do you think is more of the September purchase then? Do you think would you rather go Ethan Strange or Mam if there's not too much fluctuation?
I think Reece Walsh.
I'll worry about that in September.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But the
Tigers won't.
Yeah, I like the draw because the first three are a little bit awkward, like Penrith and Storm in rounds 1 and 3, Para in round 2, which is nice. But then Finns, Titans, Cows. So we say those first, 3 teams just working each other out still, and then it starts to open up a little bit. Could go all right.
It's funny how we're talking about like it's a bit tricky early on with the defensive systems. I see these when teams play the good teams, they can't get any better than at their best. So I feel like the good teams early on, there might be a few more cracks early on. Like we saw the Panthers last year, how bad defensively they were. I think they'll be better this year, but I think these good teams, they're probably going to let more in than the kind of worst teams that need to prove something early on, like especially with new coaches coming in. It could go either way depending on, like a Todd Payton side, I reckon they're going to be semi-rock solid early on just because that's what they're going to focus on because he wants to save his job. Whereas like Josh Hannay, he's probably got a bit more time to work with. They might be still working things out at round 1. So I think you've got to really determine which way you think it's going to go. I think the Titans are going to be much more improved. They're going to have time to work with it, whereas a Todd Payton side might start a bit harder. Newcastle side might take a while, but they've still got a similar core group. A Broncos, they're just coming off a premiership. What do you think Madge's mindset is? Is it...
Well, he was going to be hungry for back-to-back. That's the type of bloke he is.
Obviously, but the way they did it last year, they started quite slow after that round 1 game. But do they take a different approach where they keep the momentum up?
I wouldn't. I would build into your season.
I kind of like sides that bank wins early and then fall off in the middle and then bank them up late again. I think that's always been Penrith's kind of mould.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not too sure. I actually think, like, with Ezra Mam, I'd look at him more for example, if Renault goes down injured, I'd probably look at Mam more then than I would with Renault in the side because I just feel like with Renault, he's obviously going to take a bunch of ball his way, whereas we saw in that grand final when Renault came off, Mam stood up and had a blinder. He was heavily involved in attacking sets. He almost looked like he was playing half-back without playing half-back.
I don't know. I see Mam as this guy that it doesn't worry me. Like I feel like he thrives off the structure of other people and he plays the off-the-cuff footy.
Yeah.
What's your vibe, Tim?
I don't know. He started fast last year, but it's hard to gauge because he came in the middle of the season. 12. So yeah, the rest of the people he was playing against have already sort of gone around for a bit, even though he's
fresh with a point to prove as well.
Yeah, exactly. But he started with a 75.5 in the first 3 rounds and a 76 after 6 rounds. So first game of the year, 128. He's got big ones in him.
A lot of try assists in that game. Did he crush into your green book?
No, I'm not considering him strong enough.
Yep, fair enough. And I like him, but I haven't considered him for
5%
SuperCoach.
owned, which is not too... It's a bit of a nice, cheeky little pot. He could go all right.
Blaze Talangi, 581,100. Not super exciting. Was very consistent last year, which surprised me a lot. A lot of 60 scores. Tough draw, but super consistent last year. I think the one plus that he can improve, I think he improves as a player defensively. I don't know if attacking-wise he does, but that left edge, Brian Toll, Casey McLean a year on, there's every chance he does. He might pick up the goal kicking during the bye period now with Dylan Edwards potentially out. Nathan Cleary will be out. He goal kicked for Samoa, and he goal kicked really well too. So I do like that about him. I think that's a bit extra. Yeah, I guess banking on him to go to another level is what we're relying on. Do you think he can do it as a Panthers fan?
Does the draw worry you at all? And
not with,
like the first couple games?
Not with Penrith. Maybe for him, yeah.
A little bit, just because it doesn't let up. Because there's only one soft game in the first 6, which is Para, and they're a team that's not particularly probably going to be that soft. They're really sort of working towards something, I feel, and feel a bit grittier, especially towards the back end of last year. They go Broncos, Sharks, Roosters, Para, Storm, Dogs. It couldn't get much harder. I'm excited from him from the point of view that it's his second year on as well. He's got big base. He's got 34.5 base, which is also makes the territory.
I'll say this. I think we obviously with the progression of Hines turning into a halfback at the Sharks and Blaze turning into a 5'8" at the Panthers, Blazers seem to have moved a lot faster and really sort of nullifying his role quicker than what Hines has, I'd say.
I reckon when Hines first landed at the Sharks, so he kind of established himself.
He was a revelation straight away, I thought.
He was, but he wasn't
took
playing,
a while after.
He wasn't playing like a halfback, though. He came in and played fullback, and they sort of made it work around him. He just played this really unorthodox style of footy, which I guess is what Blaze has sort of done as well. He did, but it was super unorthodox.
It's a tough comparison too, because he's already kind of established, whereas Blaze is he's
fresh. Yeah. I just think from that sort of argument, I'm thinking that Blaze second year, I think he's going to be in for a good one. When they've got good games, I feel like he's an avoid for the first couple during that draw. But once the draw starts to let up a little bit, I feel like he'll be definitely around the bye period for sure with the goal kicking.
He's going to start to be much more confident this year, I'd say, as well.
Yep.
Like last year, it seemed like he just second-guessed himself a bit.
Yeah, whereas by the end of the year, you saw he was a lot more confident with his footy. He was having blinders. When Cleary was out, when they started to go on that little streak, he was one of the better players on the field.
Yeah.
So I think I almost look at him as a bit of a September purchase, but also with the buy round too. I don't mind that.
The other comparison I feel with that is too, Nico came into the Sharks as the guy and with big expectations, and Blaze just came in to be, second fiddle to the best player in the world in a side that's just won 4 premierships. So he didn't really, you said tread on eggshells and find his little place within there, whereas Nico needed to be
someone straight away.
Need to make it work, or it was so. But looking at Blaze, a couple of big ones, but they're late in the season. 112 against the Cows, 99 against the Knights. Only one shit score of a 37. All others were solid.
37.
Yeah, that was his only one shit score.
Strange had 6 under 40.
That's right. Yeah. Well, he had 8. He had 8 under 40.
Yeah, sorry.
8, yeah.
Yeah, wow.
So when you're looking at it like that,
if Blaze was the same price as a Pezet, I'd be taking him.
And you've got to take all the shit scores. You take all the shit scores, and they do
shit, Sherlock.
Well, even if he was like 100 or maybe 150k more, I'd probably look at him.
So I'm not considering him at the moment, but 100k cheaper, and is he in a lot more people's sides?
We'll just go to his player agent, tell him we're not prepared to pay that much. We're only looking to give him 100k less in our SuperCoach side.
I'm interested, but it feels like he's not quite there.
Yeah, I think the September footy, but then buy round, your point, I think that's really good. If he gets the goal kicking during the buy round, that'll be nice.
I just want to look at his first 6 games last year as well. Really consistent, and he had some pretty tough sides in there as well. So if you do want to take the gamble with him and just ride him out and see what happens, 63 against the Storm last year in round 1. Then he went 58 against the Finns, 59 against the Roosters. Round 4, he went 61 against Manly, and the week after, 65 against the Broncos. Round 6, 112 against the Cows. Maybe that was his 6th game. It wasn't round 6. That would have been after his 6 games. I think he missed a little bit of footy there in the middle of the year, so that's what that was about. But, yeah. I think the draw caps him just a little bit. So I think if you had a little bit more going for him, I'd be considering him a bit stronger. But I think he's like one to maybe not stick in the green book for the start of the season, but just in your little
in your watch list.
In your watch list for mid-season, I think.
I think you've got to remember with the first couple of games for him as well, he came in because he was the 18th man for majority of the first couple of rounds.
Yeah, Jack Cole
and then he got thrown in because they shit themselves after Cleary went off. So.
That's true. So they needed to make it work, kind of.
Yeah.
So he's got a full preseason at 5'8". So he improves. It's just how much does he improve and how much does he improve in the first 3 or 4 rounds, five even. So, I like him, and I think, I like him a lot more than I expected.
Surprised he went that good too. I felt like he wasn't that good of a thing last year.
Yeah, just 60s. And
wasn't very relevant. Not many people were talking about it, considering much.
Yeah, 100K less than Munster, and you're getting the same thing.
The more you talk about him, the more I'm getting a little bit more here and there.
We've changed every podcast.
I think he's definitely a little bit of a watch for sure.
Yeah. Matt Burton, number 9, 557K, averaged 51 in the first 10 weeks last year. The Soup buy once again, 1 ton. Lost the goal kicking last year. His average last year would be 52 without the goal kicking completely, and he's priced at a 57. He averaged 66 in 2024. It would have been a 53 without the goal kicking in 2024. So he's overpriced considering he is losing the goal kicking. If he has the goal kicking, he's probably a little bit of value.
What I would be interested to look at there is what are his scores at centre? Because I think there's every chance he goes to centre.
I'm not entertaining that, Les. No? I'm not entertaining that right now. What are your thoughts? We're talking about him at 5'8".
At 5'8",
If he is at centre...
If he's at centre and he gets the duel, what are you doing?
Probably don't like it. Because Bronson Cherry's not Supercoach relevant. And he should be, because he's a great... quick centre.
Has a buy in round 2, which is a little bit awkward.
Yeah.
You can probably cover it with your Pezet in that round if you had to.
In saying that, I think that Burton's a better centre than Bronson Cherry. And when he did play centre in those couple of games, he looked good.
Yeah, I like Burton as a centre. For the Bulldogs, though, I think Mitch Woods does go in there.
Because you got Kikau on that edge too, remember?
Yeah. I feel like he's the type of player that it doesn't... I don't know.
Wait and see.
Lockie Galvin probably helps him on that side if he is the 5'8" on the left. Lockie Galvin loves that face ball to the centre.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm sort of thinking. I think he's more attractive as a centre than a 5'8".
I wouldn't buy him at centre either, though. Like, I'd buy him at 5'8" if he was playing centre, potentially.
I wouldn't. I'm not looking at him at all, but I'm saying if he was to play centre, he's more attractive to me than if he's playing 5'8" this year.
What have you got, Tim?
Not much. The only interesting stats I had around him were things that you've already said, just his averages with and without kicks over the last 3 years.
Okay, so that's definitely a concern, and I feel like, we just got to put a line through him straight away. And just, he's another interesting one, but I feel like he's an interesting one if circumstances make him lose money, and then he becomes a 400K player, gains the goal kicking over Origin.
Yeah.
Potentially has more hands-on. Number 10, Jackson Purdue. Didn't expect to like this one, but I looked into the stats and I think I'm a little bit interested. He's priced at a 57. It seemed like he was awful at 6, but he averaged 52 there. Considering he didn't train there all preseason, means there's improvement to be had. 557K. It's a dire position. He potentially plays halfback in a Cowboy side with a good draw. The full preseason just tickles my fancy. I didn't love what I saw from the Cowboys with him in the halves, but if he's training there all preseason, then there's a lot of improvement to be made.
Yeah, I don't like it. I prefer him playing at centre. You're thinking he's going to be playing 5'8", are you?
Halfback.
Halfback, right. Okay.
He's been training at halfback.
Okay. I don't remember if he'll find any of that. That's interesting. So I've got he was averaging 47 at 5'8". Over the 2025 season with 8 games. So I think it was about 5 points off. You had him at about 52. So.
I had 52, but it was like 3 games. 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, right.
Hold on.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to look into where I got my stats from. But, I've got him 62 at centre for 16 games.
Yep.
He had played 24 games last season, so he'd have 8 games at 5'8" and 6 games in the centres. 16 games in the centres.
Yep.
Yeah. Start of the season's really nice and soft. Knights, Tigers, Titans. The 3 easiest sides of last year, especially the Knights in the back end of last year, were pretty bad defensively. They were good to start the year defensively. A lot of shit scores there, though. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 scores under 40.
I've got 6 games at 5'8", by the way. Yeah. So via NRL SuperCoach stats, round 11 against Manly, he scored 27. Round 13 versus Tigers, 101. Round 14 versus Melbourne, 61. Round 15 versus Dolphins, 46. Round 16 versus Roosters, 26. And then he played 1 game versus Dolphins there for 51. That's what I got.
I don't know. My stats could be wrong.
I'd rather go with Munster than him.
I've said my stats have been wrong in the past, though, and they weren't.
Yeah, I know. I'm a bit... I don't want to say you're wrong.
I got who cares? It's 5 points, 5.5 points.
The obvious thing, I think, for me is the fact he's playing on the other side of the field too. Dearden's going to play left.
Dearden's traditionally a left player. He played right for Origin, so there's every chance he plays on the right, Dearden.
Yeah, but would you move Dearden? Would you really want to move Dearden?
Honestly, the Cowboys are just shit. They should do anything because they're shit. I hate Purdue in the halves. Like, I get...
Yep.
And I understand
I just
why
like his exciting moves he's got in the centres. He just, that try-scoring ability he's got, the speed, that's where I think his interest would lie for me. I wouldn't want to be taking gambles.
Yeah, Cowboys are just such an etched side.
Halves. Like, even Scott Drinkwater now, he's playing in the halves. Just Scott Drinkwater stock's killed.
Yeah, I don't like
I think there's every chance he improves, though. And
Scott Drinkwater's playing in the halves now.
No. Since Purdue's been in the halves, Scott Drinkwater's stocks have gone down.
Yeah, he averages like 66 with Purdue, whereas he averaged like 90 at one point during the season with Purdue. So,
is there a red book? Can we get a red book out?
No, I don't mind him, mate. I think he's all right, but yeah, I think he's wait and see. But I definitely think that he's got some improvement to be made in that number 6 role.
If he started slow last year, was his debuting, so it's hard to...
If they play him like a second fullback, I'm more interested. Like if he roams...
Like a Fletcher Sharp and Dearden playing, I don't mind that either.
Like if he roams and then Dearden sort of roams more as a half, but Jackson Purdue comes in at the back of shape, I don't mind that.
One to watch for sure. The centre wing 5'8" duel's kind of handy and interesting.
Does he have the duel?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, cool.
So that's a little bit fun, you know what I mean? You could put him in centres, even if you've sort of got other business going on in centre wing, but you'd probably rather not. You'd rather stick him in 5'8", I'd say, fair. If he's killing it.
He's a wait and see for me.
Yeah, he could turn interesting. We'll just see how he goes.
Yep.
If he, like I've said it with too many players, I think, but if he was 100k cheaper, I'd be more enticed.
Yeah, you got to stop saying this.
But,
I get it. But
it's also like going, if you just score, 10 more points a game, I'd buy him.
Jesus, if Teddy was bloody 500k, he'd be in my team too.
Well, let's start talking to a few of the player managers and just scraping off a bit of that cash.
Yeah, 100%. We've already
gone. I was about to look, and all the girls would be after me.
That's probably true for me.
Oh my god.
Actually, that's not true. I don't have anything else going for me either. So sort out some of my finances and a few other things. Yeah.
We've talked about Sandon Smith in the Hooker podcast. I like him. Is he in the green book for 5'8"? He's in my side, so he's in mine.
He's super interesting. Who are you talking about, Jackson?
Sandon.
Oh, okay. No, we'll move.
Okay. Is there much disparity between games at 9 and games in the halves for Sandon in regards to scores?
Well, because he hasn't really played big minutes at 9 in his career, so...
I think I'm less interested from memory after looking into this on him. Yeah, so 2025, 17 games, average with kicks 51.5, average without kicks 40. Something to consider. I don't know. You're not sure if he's kicking goals? Like he probably will be if Ponga's not there.
But Fletch kicks as well, doesn't he? Does Fletcher Sharp kick goals?
No.
doesn't he?
No, Sanders is the goal kicker,
He's gonna go,
for sure.
okay. All right.
Ponga's not kicky anymore, so...
That's smart.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we mentioned this on the Hooker podcast with him, but if you take out round 9 and round 21, where he only scored 0 and 27 points in very little minutes, like 7 and 17, average increases to 57.5. So
I got that.
You got that?
Yeah,
that?
he was the MVP of the Hooker podcast, remember?
He, in the 90s, so he's played 17 games, 90s, he only got one score of 90. Well, I got 90 plus, and in 80 plus, only once.
Yep.
And that's that bit one big 129.
Yep.
But outside of that, only 3 scores over 70.
Yeah.
Only 6 scores over 60.
I think the reason we liked it, though, is because
New role.
In the hooker position, it was a low floor position, and same as 5'8", I guess.
So you think he's going to play hooker there?
No, he's going to play halfback, and he's going to goal kick, and I just feel like him coming into...
How certain are you of this?
I'm pretty certain.
Yeah. Okay.
Because
I've been seeing stuff like... all sorts of different things.
So he will play halfback, and I feel like because he's been given that halfback through Holbrook, who was the assistant coach of the Roosters, I think because this is his team now, and that he'll be given the keys to that, whereas before at the Roosters, he always just had like a short-term lease on the jersey.
Is it his team though?
Yeah, but who knows?
It's Dylan Brown's team.
Yeah, it is, but he could lock down that 7. He's got that opportunity. No matter how good he played for the Roosters, he was always... Well, until Hugo Savala come on, he was going to be the number 6. But
I mean, I think Dylan Brown will probably get more ball. And, I mean, you know, you've got Bradman Best and Dylan Lucas, who we're very high on that edge.
Has Dylan Brown ever been a hands-on half? He's always been the second fiddle, and I know he's signed for a big contract and he's kind of got to.
and Sandon Smith.
It's hard to say because they've kind of, there's all that chat about they kind of purchased him as a halfback, so they kind of like, whether he's playing halfback or 5'8", maybe they still want him to be a bit more hands-on.
Yeah, potentially. And they're paying him so much money.
And it's a lot of trust to put completely in sand and just go, here, you steer everything around.
So I guess my question off the back of that is the goal kicking enough if he's not going to be the dominant or, you know, have more hands on the footy?
I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah, you're really keen on him. I'm a little bit unsure. The thing I really do like about it, though, is that he's got that 5'8" hooker duel. So if something happens where, you know, you've got him at 5'8" and your hookers are just stinking it up, you can just move him there, maybe buy a better 5'8", might be a better purchase than buying a hooker. Like, it just gives a bit more freedom if things don't work out.
I like him. I like the fact that he's a dual. Isn't he a dual?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
so I like the fact that he's a dual because, you know, if you want to look for a backup or a starting hooker and you want to go a bit rogue, you can go with him.
I like it too. He's in my green book. He's in my side.
Nice,
so.
yeah. Well, he's in my green book for hookers, so I'll chuck him in here for that too.
Jerome Luai, 465k, averaged 33.7 with Lockie Galvin. But once Lockie Galvin left the side, he averaged 60.2. That's all I got.
I'm not overly keen.
What if it was 100k cheaper?
Fucking take it easy, mate. Yeah. Me and him are going to come over here and smash it. Yeah. So you were talking about Flanos?
Yeah. Oh, no, Luai.
With Jerome Luai. Okay. Oh, so you've got, you're 63 with... Oh, here's my averages with players. I don't know if this is what you just said because I was trying to flick to the right page, so I might be repeating you. 9 games with Galvin for an average of 33. You said that?
Yep.
Yeah, and then he had, with Dewey at 5'8", 4 games for an average of 63.
Yeah, I just did without Galvin, and the average is 60.2.
Yeah. So I thought looking with Dewey at 5'8" was handy because that's what the combo's going to be.
That's a lot better sample.
I actually don't mind him at 460.
Yeah, I know. I didn't mind it either.
Average 47.5 last year at the Tigers, and the last 3 years you average a lot more at the Panthers. You know, I guess it's the side you're in. 59.5, 58 and 56 over the last 3 years compared to the 47.5 at the Tigers last year.
Well, spoilers, I've got Cody Walker, but I almost think for 100k odd more, it's not a bad shout.
60k.
65k more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Yeah, I don't mind it either. I don't love it either. The round 1 bye is very awkward. You don't want Pezet against a Melbourne side, but against his old side could be a grudge match. I think he's worth a shout.
I haven't looked into the draw on this one for some reason. So how's the Tigers got the bye round one?
Round
That's
one,
probably what. Yeah, maybe. Okay, yeah. So, but you could deal with that. He's not a big time player. It's not like you're leaving that much money on your bench if you're starting with him.
And if you're starting with him anyway at that price, like you're probably going to get that off Pezet in round one anyway.
It's a very small sample size, that 4 games with Dewey averaging 63, but 9 games is only kind of double the sample size of what we're looking at here with Dewey, and it's 9 games with Galvin for 33 and 4. So it's, I don't know, you still can take something from it. I think he's maybe it lands somewhere in the middle, like at the 50s or something.
I think he also, that they know what their style of play is going to be this year now. He's been at the club for a year, whereas the first year is kind of a bit of a teething period. Maybe we see more what we saw at the back end. But, yeah, to be honest, like, I don't feel comfortable with Jerome Luai in my starting SuperCoach team. I'd like to see how it plays out, but I don't think he's for me, to be honest.
I seriously don't mind it, like with everything that you guys have said. Plus, he's got a pretty good edge. Like, he's got... Who's going to be on that left? You've got Samuel Afinu. You've got Hamasi Makasini. Probably I've got him on my wing anyway for the Tigers.
Taylor May there
and
now.
Taylor May.
Yeah, I like that Taylor May combo.
Yeah, same.
You put him over a few.
Even Samuela. I don't mind that either.
Yeah.
So I actually don't mind it. The round one bye stings. Other than that, I really don't mind Jerome.
Yeah, he's worth a shout.
Is he in a yellow book?
Yeah, he's definitely a yellow book contender.
Well, I don't know. I feel like I just at 63. I like that. I don't know. Yeah, but he's probably not going to find his way into my side.
You know what? When Viliami Kikau left the Panthers, he was tossing up between changing his SuperCoach name because
to Romy's Homies.
It was going to be Romy's Homies.
That's right. And someone ended up picking. There's a Romy's Homies.
So is Romy still the homie? What's going on?
Yeah.
He's from the area.
I'm moving on to Braden Trindle at 417,000.
I like it.
Just thought I'd put him in there just because of the draw. It's pretty good, but I feel like they figured out their combination, Nicho Hynes and Trindle, towards the end of the year, but I did the maths, and his stats without any try assists or tries, all goals, his average is 24, and I feel like that's a shit thing to look at, but he heavily relies on these attacking stats because he's got no base and power.
Yeah, maybe the price is okay, but the scores that he's been putting up. If you look at his scores for the year,
there's just single-digit scores in there, eh?
Yeah, no, not good. I just put straight no interest. I had one quick look at the season as a look, and then went.
I actually think like they've got that Stone Street coming in too, who I think that they'll utilise while he's there. They'll send a lot of ball left. I think he's more of a wait and see than not a chance for me. I feel like I'm going to give it a go, like just watching and see how it plays out.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not the way I'm going to start. I do like the price though, $417K.
I feel like he's got a SuperCoach game in him. Like, I think he does have a SuperCoach game in him, but I don't think he has it. I feel like
it looks like it on the eye test. Sometimes it looks like he has some really big upside plays, but then it just doesn't translate very often.
But the Sharks play the best when he doesn't play that way. So I think that's why I don't like it, like, towards the end of the year. I want to like it, though.
Yeah.
Like, I really want to like it. I just don't think he's got... I think he's got the upside. I don't think he has the consistency that you want. Like, over the first 3 rounds, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes a 96, a 13, and a 28. And then a 64.
What's the draw? Did you read out the draw already? What's the draw?
Yeah, it's Titans,
Sharks.
Titans, Penrith.
I'm trying to bring it up. I don't know.
Titans, Penrith, someone else after that.
I'll open the app.
So the photos for a second, I was like, you got the screenshots.
I can't work out how to use my fucking photo album right now since I've updated the...
Yeah.
I can't find my recent, just like shots. It's tough.
Titans, Penrith, Dolphins, Raiders, Warriors, Roosters, Cowboys.
It's mixed. It's pretty mixed.
Mixed.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. It's probably not the way I'm going to go, but keep an eye on it.
Well, I think we didn't mind it possibly from a Nico point of view.
Oh, yeah.
When looking at back.
Yeah, but I feel like Nico can definitely capitalise on these matches, whereas Trindle, I feel like he steps up when Nico goes missing a bit, which you don't want if you got Nico on your side.
I'm probably more keen on Trindle paired to Pines. Like, if you're going to go Trindle, then I am DCE paired to Sam.
Huh?
So I'm more keen on Braden Trindle as the second string, than I am with DCE as the second string.
At the price, potentially, yeah.
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 Well, definitely at the price, for sure.
I think DCA averages more than 50.
I don't know. I think it's going to be a different sort of year. I think it depends on how much of a backseat DCE actually takes.
Are you guys about to place a bet?
We've placed our pickle bets.
Yeah, so DCE versus Trindle.
Okay. I'll go Trindle.
I'll go DCE.
Okay.
What's the terms? What's the terms? What's the stakes, boys?
I better not make any bets until I fulfill the last one.
Yeah, I've already dyed my hair jet black before.
But Tim,
Origin,
it's coming. It's coming. Watch out for it.
Okay.
Because you're going to be excited. All right, let's go to Cody Walker, 399,000. He's priced at a 48, but he averaged 57.2. His last 4 years, 69.1, 57.3, 83.1, and 74.1.
Yes, please.
A bit of regression. Injury history is there. I don't know how I feel about it. I think there's a lot of positives, but I just think I don't think I'm going to touch him just because I think this SuperCoach, these players who used to be SuperCoach guns in the past, I feel like we hold on to that too much, and I think we've just got to let go.
You've got to take the chance with that left edge. I think you have to. 399k, you've got Fafita, Latrell, and AJ. He's going to be setting up that many tries. Like,
Something just fell down there. It's weird.
Yeah, I think that left edge is just too good to ignore a 399k price.
I like him. Yeah. What do I got here? I mean, Finns, Roosters, Tigers. I like the first and the third game there. Whew, nice games. I've got some stats with him with Latrell. So he had 4 games last year playing with Latrell, and he only averaged 38 points, which is less than what he averaged for the season. So I thought, when Latrell was playing, he was probably going to average a lot more, but it didn't really translate for those 4 games. You know, every other season, though, like 2024, he had 10 games with Latrell, averaged 61, and then in 2023, 16 games with Latrell and averaged 71 for those games. Maybe, he's 36 now, maybe he's a little bit fallen off the perch a bit, but I think for the price and trying to find a bit of value at the start of the season, I think with the fact that the Roosters, the Bunnies were just so underwhelming last year, they were not the type of side that were winning games, they're losing, everyone was out. They've got all these boys back. The only thing is now that there is some like Fafita and Latrell niggles, right?
He's
Let's
the main
heard that on the radio or something today.
He's the main playmaker in that side too.
Yeah.
Which I like.
Yeah, so what do we got here? What did you say he averaged last year?
57.
57.
Oh, no, that's average minutes. Yeah.
So I've got him at 41.
I've got him at 40.8 for an average last year.
Oh, that's last year, yeah, 40.8.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry. I was looking at the year before.
I was really starting to question my stats for a second.
I was like, what's going on
here? Yeah. I think for value and just, I think my selling point on wanting to start with him is just that 5'8's always a bit underwhelming.
Yep.
So I might as well pay, not be paying up like a 600k price tag. I'm expecting to put out scores of at least 40.
Yep.
I think the attack should come. Just by the fact that they're playing good footy. They get set out to the left. He does a bit of his thing with AJ. I think,
he'll be on the right too, sweeping on the right. We'll see less of Latrell coming out the back. We'll see enough of Latrell, but I think we see enough Cody.
The difference as well, like you were talking about scores with Trell. Trell's playing fullback majority of the time, right? So Trell's obviously at centre now.
Yep.
It'll be Jai Gray that's out the back here at fullback. Obviously a bit of a hard work, a different style of fullback.
Yep.
I don't think that Jai is necessarily going to be taking as much ball off Cody as what Latrell will, because Latrell just demands the ball in the big moments. So I think that Cody's going to get a lot more ball. You said he's the dominant half. I agree. In this side, Cody Walker. And I think that left edge is just too good to ignore with Cody there at 399k. The try assist will just be coming in heaps.
Okay, green book or not?
He's in my side, yeah.
All right, cool. And then we got Jonah Pezet, who I think 80% owned, speaks for himself. There's not many stats to back him up, but he's a talent coming through. Have you got anything before we go? I don't think we need to. Like, he's in for most sides.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, there's no point trying to convince yourselves that he's the best cheapie available in the position. I'd say with hands down, there's not any other options really. So, there's. I mean, what did he score? Average only 19 points. His minutes were really down last year. He's played only 36 minutes on average last season in those 7 games. But 2 years prior, he got 3 games in 2024, 80-minute averages. Average jumped to 31. It's not much, but it's only 3 games. And then 2027, he averaged 47 points in 80-minute games. He had 7 games there. So that's a better sample size. And that's when he was a little bit more, green and junior. He's a bit more established and coming along in his, journey, his age. He's still a young fella, but you know what I mean? He's not a complete baby.
I think as well, like him and Moses will share the ball around quite a bit, and I think Moses will actually really like having him there as a fact that Moses isn't really the only kicking option on last now. You've got another guy there that's going to be doing a lot of the kicking, in-play kicking as well in sets, taking raids down that left-hand side as well. They're almost very similar players, Pezet and Moses too, so it's almost like cloning Moses and then throwing him on the left-hand side. It's nice. I think, for 235, it's way too good. I feel like this podcast, especially for 5'8", the only real 5'8" that stand out like a sore thumb, it's Munster, it's Cody, and then it's Pezet, really.
Yeah, I like that. It's a premium, a middle, and a cheapie.
Bit of Sharp, bit of Talangi, and I think there was a bit of interest for Sandin as well.
Even Luai. I think there was a little Luai.
Who's the MVP?
The good thing about Jonah too, before I go on, he could make a lot of money really fast too, because in 2023, his first 2 games of the season, scores of 78 and scores of 64. If you get those 2 to start the year...
Yeah, it feels like he's not going to warm into it like most junior halves do. It feels like he's ready to
hit the ground running, you reckon?
Yeah. That's it. Who's the MVP?
Pezet? Can Pezet be the MVP?
He probably can be, but...
Yeah, because you've got to lock one in there.
For the sake of content.
And 30% of people that don't have him probably should have him.
Yeah.
I'd probably say...
I'd probably go with the Pezet, because every other 5'8".
But also, maybe Munster.
Yeah.
But it is what he is. What he is. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I think Talangi might be worth a shout.
Well, what about
just the jaw? He looks like a good option for the year. It's the jaws.
What if he was $100K cheaper?
100%.
All right.
Is that the title of this podcast?
Yeah,
what if he's $100K cheaper?
What's your vote?
Yeah, we'll go for Pezet because I'm a man of the people. I just want to, if you guys are voting for that, I want to throw in and me,
throw in a little wild card.
All opposed. Me.
Ezra Mam?
No.
All right, Pezet. It's got to be Pezet. Anyway, thank you for tuning in for the podcast. We'll see you later in the week.